Hello students, this is Seema Singh. Students, I will start our new chapter first in history, our past. First of all, I will give you an introduction. Students, history is the study of the events and great men of the past on the basis of available material, remains and records. The word history comes from the Greek word histo, which means know this, and historio, which means learn by inquiry. History can be defined in many ways, but it always studies the life of great men, events, cultures, and civilizations that relate to religion, art, architecture, literature, and philosophy. In short, we can say that history is the life story of man from the earliest period to the present day. Student, importance of history. The study of history has got a special importance of its own. Some of the important points about it are follow. Number 1, it is enable us to gain knowledge about great kings. Number 2, it enable us to find solution to our current problems in a better way. Number 3, it gives us the knowledge of origin and evolution of different languages and dialects. Number 4, it teaches a big lesson to men that slavery, racial discrimination, hunger, poverty, illiteracy, etc. Number 5, history helps us to remember about our past glory that keeps is preserved. The time frame under study. In history, knowledge of the dates of the past events gives an idea of their correct sequence. Ordering of past events by BC and AD time scale. Students, in history, we find dates with the letters BC or AD written after them. The full form of BC is before Christ. The full form of AD is Anno Domini. Anno Domini is a Latin word which means in the year of our Lord. Sometimes CE Common Era and BCE before Common Era are also used in place of AD and BC. The historians divide past into two broad periods, prehistory and history. Students, prehistory relates to that period when man was totally unaware of the art of writing. So no written records of that period are available. This period referred to as the Stone Age. Second, history. The period for which written records are available is known as history. It is generally studied under three heads: ancient, medieval, and modern history. The geographical framework. Geography affects history. Students, geography had a great impact on human society since ancient times. There is a close relationship between the physical conditions and historical phenomena. So, the geographical division of India are the Himalayas, the Indo-Gangetic plains, the southern Indian, the coastal plains. Okay, student. So, I will tell you one by one. The Himalayas. Their extent did not allow any invader to against reaching India. Sorry, the Himalayas. The Himalayas have been a great barrier against reaching India. Their extent did not allow any invader to have dream of conquering the northern region beyond the Himalayas. Second, the Indo-Gangetic plains. The richness of the soil facilitated the establishment of big empires like those of the Mauryan, the Gupta, and the Mughals. The southern India, the Vindhyas range stand between the north and the south. South India remained under the influence of the Dravids culture even. when the Aryan influence extended widely over the north. The coastal plains, the long coastline has enabled India to maintain commercial relations with the far away countries since the very ancient time. The source of history. To know history, we should know and study the evidence and records of our past. These evidence and records are known as the source material or source of the history. Students, we will divide two categories: archaeological source and literary source. Archaeological source, the study of the remains of the past of human extent, is called archaeology. The remains of ancient buildings, inscriptions, coins, and artifacts are called archaeological sources of history. A person who study about the remains of the past is called an archaeologist. So, student, let's us study about some such remains. Number one, inscriptions. The written records engraved on pillars, rocks, caves, walls of forest, palaces, on clay and copper plates, etc., are known as inscriptions. The earliest of inscriptions were found on the sites of Harappan civilization. Second, coins. The study of coins is called numismatics coin. Coins provide a good deal of information about the past. They provide information about the rulers who issued them, the period of their region, and the social and economic condition of their time. Third, monuments. The old creations such as buildings, temples, palaces, and towns having historical importance are known as monuments. The Nalanda University and Vikramshila University enlighten us on the ancient system of education. The stupas of Sachi in Madhya Pradesh and the caves of Ajanta and Ellora in Maharashtra tell us a lot about art and religion of contemporary India. Artifact. People in the past made many things such as tools, weapons, pottery, sculptures, toys, coins, jewelry, paintings, and artifacts. These artifacts help us to get information about the cultural skill and artistic life of the civilization. Number two, literary sources. All those records and evidence of our past that are available in written form are known as literary sources. Literary sources include all kinds of handwritten documents called manuscripts. In ancient India, people used to write on a variety of materials such as bhojpatra and palm leaves. The literary sources are of two kinds: religious and secular literature. Religious literature. Writing on religious themes come under religious literature. These writings, like the Vedas of the Hindus, the Pitakas of the Buddhists, the Angas of the Jains, help us to understand the religious belief and tradition of the time. Secular literature. A literature that is not religious is known as the secular literature. Secular literature include poetry, drama, memoirs, chronicles, travelers, and accounts of foreign travelers. Accounts of foreigners. The Chinese pilgrims like Fayan, Huizang, and etc. visited India in search of knowledge and Buddhist literature and left valuable accounts about the religious, social, and political condition of India. Huingsang is called the Prince of Pilgrims. The Tibetan historian Sarnath gives a lot of valuable information about Buddhism. Travelers. We get a lot of useful information from writings of foreigners. Herodotus tells us about the political conditions of northwest India in this time. Arrian wrote a detailed account of invention of India by Alexander. Skylax wrote a book which contained a detailed account of his voyage. Three ambassadors were sent by Greek rulers to Patliputra, present-day Patna. Their name was Megasthenes, Decmex, and Dionysius. Makasini was sent by the Seleucids to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. The name of this book is Indica. Chronicles. The Arthashastra of Kautilya contain a lot of information regarding the system of administration and the social and religious life of Mauryan period. The Mudra Rakshas of Vishakhadat gives a story of Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya. Patanjali and Panini are work on Sanskrit grammar. The dramas of Kalidas, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, Meghdutam, etc. And Prithviraj Raso, written by Chandravardai, gives information about Prithviraj Chauhan. And similarly, Rajtarangani of Kalhan and Aine Akbari of Akbarnama Abdul Fazal are very useful literary sources of history. So, students, we will meet you again our next chapter. Okay, goodbye.